All right, here we are back again. Jimmy?
Yo, we're back in. It's unreal, bro. Hasn't it been what was it, like a couple hours ago that we're here, Fal?
Feels like it.
Jesus Christ, it's so great. And today, wow, look at this. We have we are surrounded with beauty, intelligence, and just talent
Greatness.
Overall. Greatness, yeah.
Coming, buddy.
All the adulation. Oh my
Talk
God.
into the mic. Talk into the mic.
Keep it coming, buddy. Yeah, boosting our ego.
My jeez, it's unreal, man. We have a wonderful actress, producer, director. God, what don't these two people do, right? Vanessa Bednar, who's also a comedian. Jesus, you're a comedian, and she's on Jimmy Kimmel. If I'm not,
I've done like 18 sketches with them.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
I think she holds a record.
Yeah, she does.
I think she actually.
Yeah, she holds the record.
No,
does
there's
hold
a
the
couple.
record.
There's a couple.
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the man, the myth, the legend, one of the coolest cats, acting coach, actor, producer, director. One of this great show that I was telling you about. You know that obviously we have a few friends that are part of this, and it's a Barbee Rehab. None other than Mr. Derek S.Orr. Wow.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And then we have a couple of. You're gonna go ahead and introduce these wonderful ladies that are right behind us.
Yeah, we have Christy and Karen behind us. Christy plays Glamour and later Victoria's Secret Barbie, and then Karen plays Mermaid Barbie and later Glinda, the good but bad witch.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Hi guys, thank
Hey
you for
there.
having us.
Oh my God!
Hey.
Thanks so much for making it out, girls. It really, you guys are
Yes, what a treat.
fantastic. Yeah,
We're
right?
excited to be here.
And the reason that everybody's dressed, I took my shirt off. I had a Star Trek Ken shirt on. We were promoting, with the Star Trek series coming out this week with Paramount or whatever. We were, cross promoting because we have Star Trek and Ken and Barbie in this series. So
Sure.
the
Why
girls
not?
were kind enough to come out and help promote. They look amazing, obviously.
Yeah, you guys
Thank
look
you.
just
Thank
great.
you.
Guerrilla marketing at
Yeah.
its finest.
Yes, absolutely.
Grind, baby.
Is there
grind.
any other better way than doing it that way? Do it yourself, kind of thing.
It's true. It's rough, but
Yeah.
It
I
would be
think
nice
what you
to
gotta
not do it ourselves. Yes.
We'll look back one day and be like, "Wow, we should go out and do some gorilla stuff just so we can feel old school."
I used to put stickers. We put stickers all. I've been starting to place stickers all over the place. We have some stickers, by the way.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And
all right.
for the Jim and James morning podcast,
we have postcards, we have T-shirts, we have coffee
Oh.
mugs.
It's an NFT. Tell them the truth. Where's the mug? I didn't bring my mug today.
I didn't bring the mug,
Oh,
but
man.
we're
Oh,
gonna get the
fail.
merch
We got
going.
merch.
I know everyone was missing this signature Reese's cup.
Well, dude, down the road when you guys have, I get it. So down the road when you have surplus of
Uh-huh.
this stuff, down the road, seriously, I want a coffee cup.
No, for
Well,
real.
we have one
Absolutely.
for you, and we just got a bunch of merch in. I just got to go pick it up down in Costa Mesa. I get down there, a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exciting.
How long you cats been doing this, man?
Well, James, we met James. Obviously, we met James at Sizemore. Tom, shout out to Tom Sizemore, a wonderful friend and coach, and I used to drive Tom, and I used to be Tom Sizemore's driver. So I got some great stories, and we will share when he's here. Actually, yeah.
I'll bet.
You guys will
Can
come
I
back
tell my
and then we'll
joke
talk
again
about.
then?
Yeah.
Because we have a new mascot. We haven't named him, but I keep hearing that you get Tom Sizemore on here when pigs fly. So Tom.
Maybe we'll call him later. Even we'll just shoot him a call.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so James, I had a podcast. I was a limo driver, so it's called Judy. It's called Juicy Diva's Confessions of a Limo Driver.
Oh, wow.
Because Diva was the name of the company. It was named after the late Elizabeth Taylor,
Who you drove?
and I used to be her driver.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Yeah, many moons ago. Believe it or not, I'm that old.
Well, here's a coincidence.
What?
When Vanessa and I started working together at the beginning of this series,
Sure.
which was now 5 years ago,
Right.
I have my own production company, Iron Ore Productions.
Iron Ore, yeah.
And she and I wanted to form one together. Like she said, let's, we're doing this. Let's do this. So we came
Fantastic.
up with Diva.
You
Diva.
did?
Yeah. So big D, little E, big V for Vanessa,
What?
little A, Diva Art Productions.
That is
Yeah.
rad,
Yeah,
dude.
there's so many
Coincidence.
coincidences.
She's
Yeah.
big on coincidence. Vanessa's huge on like coincidence.
Me too.
Well, and then what about so Juicy Diva's Confessions of a Limo Driver, and I had done it for about a year, and I have a book also titled by it, so you guys want to pick it up on
awesome.
Amazon. It's really great stories, and
bet.
Tom Sizemore stories in it too.
Oh, well,
So
yeah,
you
for
want to,
sure.
you guys, I don't want to give anything away, but anyway,
Yeah.
so I'd seen James do Coffee with James in the morning.
Come on,
Yes?
now you got to get it right. It's Coffee in the Morning with James.
Coffee in the morning with James.
He gets that confused with Uncle James because that's my nickname. Because
exactly.
they call Lonnie Auntie Lonnie. So when we started dating, they would say, "Okay, Uncle James is invited to the barbecue. He's cool. He, you know."
And we
started calling.
We
me
were
Uncle
going to
James.
do with Tom Sizemore. We were going to do Tom Sizemore Uncensored.
Oh,
And we're gonna
You
do
were gonna
yeah
do
the podcast. I was gonna do that with Tom because dude, that's fucking rad, James. But he got involved with doing work. He had to work and whatever else got in the way. And so my girl's telling me, hey, you know what? You ought to you're gonna find the person. Yeah,
actually,
Steph, my girl.
She nudged you a little bit.
Yeah, she nudged me. She goes, there's gonna be someone that you're gonna cross paths with. And that person's going to be the person. So when I saw James and we just gelled, and I go, dude, and I saw one of your lives, I go, I'm going to hit him up. Maybe we'll see what happens.
That's all it took.
And then that's all
I
it
didn't
took,
need
man.
you guys,
much encouragement.
You guys jive pretty well together. From what I've seen.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, tons of fun. It's freaking great.
We have some.
Well, what's
great
up with the
episodes.
Barbies, dude? The Barbies coming alive, or what's this whole thing? Explain.
Dude,
Yeah.
starting Friday, man. Friday.
Yeah,
What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah, 2
Oh,
days.
2 days. We're less than 48 hours out, and
Badass. So meant to be.
So
Right?
Barbee Rehab is Barbies with addictions, like glamour Barbies addicted to shoes.
Barbee Rehab.
I'm Holiday Barbie.
Here comes one now.
Mermaid Barbie actually has a drinking problem.
Oh,
And
dear
then
Lord.
there are real people who are addicted to Barbies, like Ken Collector and Clothes Collector and just some nutballs. So they're in this rehab together, trying to fix each other, help each other get fixed,
Okay.
which never really happens.
yeah, I mean,
I love it. All the antics that happen. I want to know more about it.
we're super excited. I mean, we've been waiting for this day for a long time, and it comes out May 6th, this Friday.
This is your baby.
on Tubi. Yeah, I mean, that's like we
great.
were talking about earlier. We
Yeah.
started this 5 years ago, and we get down on each other during the process.
Sure.
Like, oh, it's taking this long. It's what we've learned, like the universe sets the time pace, man.
It just lines up. The
You know what I'm
stars get
saying?
lined up.
Yeah, things happen the way, just like us being here for whatever reason, the universe put us here. We firmly believe in that, I've been told since I got into the entertainment business, and I haven't been in that long, but long enough to meet some people that, have made big projects and whatnot. And everybody's told me, producers, directors, writers, whatever, like a feature film is a 5-year baby.
Okay.
Concept
All right.
to air. From
Wow.
concept to air is a
Development
5-year
and
baby.
everything,
So
yeah,
you sign up, and think about that,
Sure.
right? How long do we live, right? Like I have a friend back home that just passed, 47 years old, man. I just got notified.
rough.
Hell?
Yeah, 47, right? So imagine
young,
the
yeah.
5 years of
Tough,
that, 5 years of that on a project,
Holy shit.
right? It's like
yeah.
raising kids. You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? Like it's
It's
My
so
son-
hard to get something made in this town.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
really, it's incredible.
A
If you get
third of
something
my
made,
son's
it's-
life is Barbie.
Wow.
He's 16, so
Yeah.
My son's got to be with 2 years. He's graduating this year from high school. So
Oh.
shout out to
Great, man.
James Matthew. He's going to Loyola Marymount.
oh wow,
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
James, we're proud of you.
Real proud of him. We're gonna have
It's
him
like
on.
he's got a good head on his shoulders. Huh?
He really does. He really does. This kid loves. He breathes.
What's he want to do?
books.
Do you know? Has he talked about?
Entertainment lawyer.
Oh,
yeah.
well, hey,
We might need him.
hey, we have an amazing one, but we could always use more. So I'm going to keep that in our pocket,
yes,
man.
please. Okay.
yeah, I don't think my son knows what he wants to do. It's
Yeah.
just football and girls.
Yeah.
So entertainment lawyer, that's really
Yeah.
that's
Ambitious.
Well, he's totally ambitious,
Yeah.
You guys are right because of the fact that he doesn't, he's really like just laser focused on school.
That's great,
And so
man.
there's no partying, there's none of that. He doesn't know any of that aspect that goes on in high school. And we're not going to reveal any of what really happened when we're going to high school.
What did you hear, Karen? Karen was like, "That's really ambitious." Karen's a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a teacher also.
Hey, and it's
Oh,
Teacher
okay.
Appreciation Week
Yes,
still, or
this
was that
week,
last
right.
week? Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Well,
you.
yeah.
Don't they look so cute in their Star Trek dresses?
Yeah.
I just love Melrose
What?
Studios, Melrose Podcast Studios, where we're doing
Yeah,
this.
this is a gorgeous place, man.
You know, we got these mics now, but I had a question. Can this thing hear my stomach rumble and growl? Because they're very sensitive.
Your
Yeah,
soul is
just
talking
Keep
right
it up
now, bro.
here a little bit more.
Well, let's hear the girls. Like, what do they feel like? How's this whole process and stuff going for you guys? I mean, it's coming out in 2 days, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's it been like working with these two phenomenal people?
Oh, it's wonderful. We
Yeah.
love them. It's exciting. We really, oftentimes don't know exactly what we're going to be doing, but we agree to whatever because we know whatever it is, it's going to be great and we're going to have a good time. And
I've
we're
known
excited
them.
to be here.
I've known them since they were each like 20. We've known each other for like 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
They're all
Pageant years.
They're all Hawaiian Tropic models, and so
Really?
I used to produce the Hawaiian Tropic model search.
Holy shit! No
and
kidding.
they used to compete for me, and we've just stayed friends. And
beautiful.
so when this came along, it was like, can you just be Barbies? And I'm
Yeah.
like, sure.
Oh my God! Thank
like
you for
working with
making me a
friends.
Barbie.
And, dude, and you know what? Credit to both of them. Neither one of them are actors by trade. You know what I mean? They're not trained actors, and you know they're on this major series, and they really pull their weight. You know what I mean?
You
and
know,
I think a lot of that is they trusted Vanessa and I,
Good.
especially
Good.
me as the director.
Yeah,
Like they
sure.
kind of knew they were in my hands, but like. Christy, I mean, both of them, honestly, like Christy was always one of my favorites on set. And that's not just because she was here. Like, literally, I would tell Vanessa all the time, like, if I had another actor that I was struggling with or whatever, I'd always look and be like, why can't they be more like Christy? Because, you know, she initially, she was like, I don't know about this. And I was like, well, let's try this. And she's like, okay. And we, you know, we would do it. And I learned her language quickly. And I was like, all right, Christy, for this one, you know, I kind of want you to play this angle or whatever.
So
and she's
great.
like, got it. Okay, no problem. And then she knocked it out like first take.
Oh, thank
You know what I
you.
mean?
That's amazing.
One take, Christy.
Oftentimes, yeah, I wouldn't know what
Like
exactly
James.
I was doing, and I would just look to Derek, and he was right there telling me what to do and making
That's
me feel
fantastic.
comfortable.
She takes
and-
good direction. That's great.
She takes great direction,
Yeah.
and even Karen, like she, you know, to her credit, she had to do a one scene that was something very new for her, and I'm not going to spoil it with the show. You'll see it during the episode or whatever. But like, you know, she was so patient with me. Like,
Sure.
she's like, "Does this look real?" And I was like, "You know, I know it seems really stupid what you're doing. You probably feel really uncomfortable, but trust me, I'll tell you when you get it right."
Yeah.
And you know, we did a couple takes of it, and she caught on real quick. Again,
Well, she knew it was a loony bin, right, for starters?
oh,
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing normal. It's just, you know, I had the idea. I've always
Sure.
liked Celebrity Rehab.
Right,
with
right.
Tom, and
That's
It just
fantastic.
came together. And so
So you're the one with the idea.
yeah,
Sort
she's
of.
the original
Yeah, okay.
concept, absolutely.
So it was a mix between like Celebrity Rehab and like Big Brother
Dr.
type
Drew,
of thing. Yeah, and Dr. Drew, I loved it. And you know, we had shot a bunch of episodes, and then we were going to do like a second season. We
Sure.
had done a little stuff on YouTube, and so I wrote the part for Tom,
Awesome.
and then we just messaged him, and that's how he came.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
yeah.
So you guys just like basically message
I
Tom.
mean, there's a lot more involved
yeah,
there, but
but
you know,
that's kind of the way like
But
it
again,
just sort of
universe,
balance
dude.
in place. Yeah.
Universe. Like we had this conversation.
Right place, the right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, not even that, but more than that was like it was manifesting it.
Sure. Uh-huh.
People talk about that, and people think that people are crazy to do that or
That's
whatever. There's
true.
so much truth in it. Like Vanessa told me, because we said, well, what if we get? She's like, no, I want Tom. And I was like, what if we get? No, I mean, we had a lot of other names we were
Sure.
throwing out
Yeah.
there. Eric Roberts, you know,
Sure,
Dr.
sure.
Drew,
Yeah.
you name it. And she's like, no, I'm writing for Tom. So when we sat down at that point, we were co-writing together. She had already had the original concept down, and I came in and really started playing with story, which she was resistant to at first,
Okay.
but it ended up. We played off of each other, and
Sure.
she'd write stuff, and then I'd go in and smooth it out or add conflict to it or whatever it was. And the stuff, you know, I mean, Tom's a great improviser. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but like Tom's great at
Well,
improvising.
I tell you, he can tell a
Dude.
story like no one.
Oh yeah.
Well, he
Ever
always has a
seen.
book under his freaking arm. He
Yeah.
reads like fucking
reads a
crazy.
lot, you
dude.
know?
A phenomenal
Yeah.
actor. I mean,
Phenomenal actor, and you know he's had a long, great career, and writing for him was real easy. You know, we had a concept and how we wanted to do it, and Vanessa stuck to that, and we just smoothed things out, and it worked really great.
Well, it is more to what you just finished saying about like just the way things happen. James and I manifested you guys here, right?
right.
Couldn't make this
In a
up.
pinch. Yeah, pulled a rabbit out of her hat. And thank you, Vanessa, for responding and just, you know, because we didn't know what we were going to do. It might have been just us. If, 'cause
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
someone reschedule, but they're coming on, and and I'll keep you in suspense because it's worth the wait, and it's going to be.
It is worth
You
the
know,
wait.
Yeah, you
but
guys know.
this is phenomenal too. So we're getting back-to-back great guests.
Yeah, we're
and
just-
that's part of our
thank you,
mascot
though.
is people are saying like, oh, you know, a successful podcast, sure, you guys will do that when pigs fly. Well, you watch, that thing's gonna start flying.
You know, here's
It's levitating. That's just been levitating.
it's for example, right? Like with Tom, when Tom needs something, you know, we always try and help him. We're friends too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We're collaborators as well as friends. And it's the same with Janice, you know.
Yeah.
Tom brought Janice in.
Yeah.
And
So you will bring Janice next time.
yeah, I mean, you know what? Janice is turned out to be like phenomenal with the interviews.
Yeah, she's
right?
great.
Yeah.
Like she's so great, and she's really enjoying it.
Perfect.
Yeah. She
She's
was on
literally like,
K-Cal last week.
yeah, K-Cal. They treat her like a queen. Like she did amazing on live TV, and we couldn't be more thankful. But again, like Vanessa and I went. First time she did an interview, we went to her home, and we know her husband, very sweet man, and we helped her set up the laptop because a lot of people aren't used to doing their own Zooms and stuff, and it can be tricky or whatever. So we went and we set everything up for them, and even brought lights just in case the lighting wasn't, the natural lighting in the house wasn't great or whatever, and kind of rode with her through her first interview or whatever, and it went great. And then she asked us to come with her to the news one, and we went and that was a cool experience.
That must have been fun.
Like we didn't know like the cameras are all motorized.
They don't have people
really?
anymore.
Yeah, they have a small crew. But like motorized cameras, like these robots moving
they're all
around.
robots.
Have Barbies.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
It's almost like drones now. huh?
It is.
Yeah.
It was because I've been on a lot of sets, and there's
Sure.
a lot of people around here. Nope, just
Really?
no. It was weird. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
It
I'm
was
thinking
very
that
creepy.
because of COVID that
Yeah.
they started fast tracking
Yeah.
some of this
Yeah.
remote.
Yeah,
Survive, just to
yeah.
survive.
yeah, it's crazy though.
And it's funny, like Janice, right away, she's like, so we're gonna do season 2, right? I was like,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
so
I mean,
rock and roll
we're
about
really hoping that it catches fire and somebody even picks it up. You know what I mean? That way we're not self-funding anymore. We can move into more of a producer role and start wearing less hats. You know what I mean? Because if you watch the two of us on set, like we usually have
Doing it
like,
all.
Man, we're doing everything, and we have some help, and we have some good people that are solid. But wearing 7-8 hats while we're in a shoot day.
That's inspiring for us because James and I, we have something in the works we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we'll let you in as soon as the show's over.
Oh, for
But
sure.
yeah, you have, if you want to get stuff done, you have to do it yourself. But it
Love
also, like my friends, all the people in the cast, there's like 53 characters. They're all people we knew from acting class or friends,
Minus one actor.
neighbors,
Cool.
my Hawaiian Tropic models,
Ah.
all friends.
We cast one role. We wrote everything for, especially Vanessa. She had a lot of people in mind before we even she really got into this. But primarily, all the characters were written towards certain piece, toward that person, the actual, person who's playing the character. Except for one girl. One girl we cast last minute because we really wanted this scene with this Ken collector. We wanted his wife to be involved, so we needed a wife.
Sure.
And Vanessa did a quick casting. We found somebody, and again, it's amazing that 50 plus characters,
Holy
and only
shit.
one was
Amazing.
cast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So season 2, we're looking forward to meeting new talent, meeting new actors, actresses, and
But it's
you know what I
also,
mean?
I have so many friends now that want to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
there's
begged
people that are like,
That's what's
butt-
happening
Sure.
with this.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
people
yeah.
butt hurt
Yeah.
with us that they
Yeah.
weren't like. She says all the time, like, oh, so and so in Oregon's mad at me, or so and so in Florida's mad at me. And I was like, didn't you tell them to be part of it? She's like, yeah.
I always gave, we're going to shoot such and such. I'm writing. Who can do it this date?
Yeah.
Like Karen was mermaid. I wrote it for her as Mermaid Barbie. I don't know why I came up with
Just
mermaid.
came up
Oh,
with that.
because I had collected all these hundreds of Barbies
Yeah,
my
you
whole
had
life.
a huge collection.
And I'm like, what am I going to do with all these Barbies? Because
Yeah.
they're not worth anything. As soon as eBay came out,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
not really collectible. So the mermaid Barbie I had had red hair like Karen. And so, all right, Karen's going to be Mermaid Barbie. And then Glamour Barbie is Christy. And I wrote the part just for her. And I got the dress that would match the dolls, and she collects shoes, and I had hundreds of pairs of little plastic Barbie shoes that I hand glued on a blanket to
Hundreds,
be like,
man.
Yeah.
You guys are multi-talented. I mean, like, no joke. Take us through like the day. What was the process like? Starting at what time? Like 5 in the morning.
Before we jump on that, I got to
Okay.
shout out to Christy again. She found out she was going to play another character. She's going to morph into something and play another character, and she took it upon herself. We have a lot of custom dolls made. Like I have a Rogue Cop Ken custom doll that we had made with the Fight Club T-shirt and that.
Cool.
And then
Cool.
we had Tom's doll custom made and Beiling's doll custom made, and
Oh,
they look
nice.
just like him. You know what I mean? Like for dolls, there's actually a Heat doll of Tom. From Heat, his
Oh,
character. I forget
wow.
the
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
name, but
sure.
it doesn't do Tom justice.
Right.
It's a good doll. It makes character, looks enough like a character, but like I couldn't use it for
Slick.
this because
I don't know if it was slick, but I just remember that.
So
yeah.
Christy heard that she was doing something, and she, in the downtime while we were setting up for shooting or whatever, she decorated a box and
Really?
the doll to be the character that we created. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
she jumped
yeah,
on
yeah.
board and took it upon herself.
Yeah,
she
she
didn't
did
ask.
it at home.
She did it on her own, brought
Yeah.
it to set.
Christy.
Like talk about being prepared. Christy's
Crafty.
like,
go.
all right,
And she
I'm gonna
made
take
her own
this.
costume.
Prolific.
She made that whole
She's
one.
prolific. Both of these girls.
All
are.
that whole costume, huh?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That's
I like-
badass.
I
That's
like
really
to,
cool.
Accessorize.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you're glamour Barbie.
That's right. So yeah, I mean, a day's shoot, it was always different. It was always different, man.
There
You
is.
know, we got one of the reviews, one of the articles that somebody wrote. One of the reviews was talking about, oh, you know, this was smart, an indie production company. You know, to save money, they shot this all what seems like in a house, and it does look like that. It's not the case. We shot in actually a lot of locations.
I imagine. Yeah.
But made it. We always tried to, because of the way we were shooting it and going back in
Consistency
story
and
and stuff. We wanted it to all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
You know? So whether we were renting a space, leasing a space to use, or you know whatever, pre-production starts like a couple days before shooting, basically. Like Vanessa's crazy tornado.
Well, it depends. I mean, when I first came up with the concept, I mean, I had 4 or 5 months to start getting all the costumes and sets and
Oh, yeah,
stuff. So it
yeah.
kind of, I love pre-production, but when it's time to actually film, I want to hide in my room. I hate.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Long days.
Oh, it's
I'm just afraid of all the people.
just everything that's gonna happen. It's. I mean, we've always attributed it to be like a train wreck
Sure.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Embrace,
organized.
embrace the
What do
chaos.
they call that?
Organized chaos.
Organized
chaos.
chaos,
Yeah,
man.
I
The words
love
that-
that.
But you know, it's like this, man. And this is, I think you can ask Christy and Karen both, and
Okay.
they're not even going to say it to shine us on or anything else. I firmly believe that every person that we brought on set had a good time every time we shot.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without
Vanessa and I didn't.
No.
I mean,
You
know,
faked it well.
we
Yeah.
faked it very well, you know, to
Really?
keep the energy up
No,
and to
we know
make
you guys worked so hard.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they know they've been there early mornings and late nights
Sure.
and spent the, you know, like Christy would come in town and Karen would
Right.
come in town, so they got a little more inside the puppet show to see what
Yeah.
happens behind the scenes,
Yeah.
whereas other actors show up at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., leave by 6,
Right.
whatever. So these guys really got to see some
Yeah,
of
it
the
was nice
stresses and
working with
stuff.
friends because if it wasn't people we knew, I would have really had a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
But I know, you know, everybody's
Yeah.
helping. Christy constantly is cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
Everybody's helping. My mom is the caterer. You know, it's
That's
it's
smart. That's what I was
constant.
going to say.
But yeah, like I said, you know, if nothing else, no one could walk away from this series and say they didn't have a blast doing it. And the kind of cool thing too for them is some of the actors and actresses have never actually been on set together. Wow. Because of the way that we shot it, just by
So it's
chance,
almost like
whatever.
rehab.
It is.
Right? I mean, I was telling these guys, like I read somewhere when Game of Thrones was first
Sure.
going on,
Yeah.
first couple seasons, whatever. There's like the Dragon Princess or
Mm-hmm.
something. They isolated her. She was shot in a different remote location.
Yep.
So when all the award shows were happening, you know, when that show took off,
Yeah.
she didn't even know the cast.
That's so true.
So she shows up to these award things, and they're like, "Who are you?" You know, like, they know who each other are, but they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Like the voiceovers, you know, they do them at different spots.
Yeah.
Well,
for
there's an
movies.
interesting story, and I get my facts. I tell stories, and I'm like, I'll get back to you on that, but you'll get the idea. I think it was How to Get Rid of Someone in 10 Days with Matthew
Oh yeah,
McConaughey.
yeah.
And from what I understand, Kate Hudson is on a balcony looking down at the street where Matthew McConaughey is standing there. That whole thing was shot. One person was in Canada, one person was in L.A.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Are you serious,
That's
bro?
the magic of Hollywood right
How
there.
to lose a guy in
That's
10
called
days.
editing.
And 10 days. Yeah.
And you know, that's part of, you know, with us too, being an indie production, a smaller production company, et cetera, you know, mom and pop startup, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, whatever the term is nowadays. I don't know.
Sure.
But we're not big.
crazy
we're
people.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
crazy,
still
you know,
there.
indie people.
Still mom and
The
pop.
mom and pops, right?
But yeah, we had to be very creative, especially when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, like any ADR that we needed done, you know, it couldn't happen during the first really bad COVID wave because people were afraid, and I didn't want to put anybody in a position where they were going to feel like they were going to get sick, you know, no matter
course.
how many protocols you put in. So we got creative. I'm not going to say how, but you're going to see it when you see the show. And
Okay.
we got creative, and we did what we had to do in order to get things done and keep things on pace. And part of that too was we called it killing babies. There was a point when we had to.
That sounds bad in the current
Yeah.
climate.
Right. You know, I was just in a play called
Explain
Bro.
yourself. Explain yourself.
No director wants to not use footage. You know what I mean? Like you want to
Yeah.
use everything you shot away. I mean, you can't.
Sure,
you never
sure,
can.
sure.
I mean, that's you know, And I'm not even talking about like extra takes or the same take or different, whatever. I'm talking about like scenes, you know, and it came to a point where we had to really make some decisions for editing purposes or whatever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Vanessa's still butthurt about it. There's a couple things that we had to leave out, and they're really, really, really minuscule.
It's
But it was
hard
the
to
fact
cut
that we
it.
did all that work to
Yeah.
make these things. I was like, we'll use it in behind the scenes, or we'll use it somewhere. We'll use it. Don't worry. It might not happen today. It might not happen next week, but it'll happen. You know. It's been a journey.
The
man.
storyboard. What does that look like?
We tried that once. We had a
tried
gal.
it
We had a
once.
gal try that,
Yeah.
and it didn't work
There was
for us.
too much.
Yeah, it didn't work
It was
for
just
us.
too much.
So a
don't
lot
have-
of
we
it,
don't have
as
time
you
for
go, like every twist and turn is like some of it. Obviously, you guys sort of on the go. You guys came up with it on a whim.
No, it's scripted. It's
all
scripted.
Entirely.
As long as
Okay.
it stays in story.
Okay.
You know, we always service the story. We had a great acting coach, Stuart Rogers,
Fantastic.
in is that North Hollywood or Studio City? North Hollywood, I guess. The guy's phenomenal, man. Like great acting coach to begin with, and he taught us so much about story and the hero's journey, and I'll be forever in debt to him for that.
Wow.
And if you look at any good film, you know, you can look at it, and if you don't understand the hero's journey, or you haven't researched it or whatever, you'll watch something and you know it worked. You watch a movie like that was a good movie from A to B at all the things, so to speak, right? Like Star Wars. You watch Star Wars, the original Star Wars, hits everything, right? Hero, the mentors,
You're absolutely right.
Call to Duty, da 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 da. Because we've all watched a movie and I'm like, something's missing there, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you lost me there or something. You know, you get 2
Yeah,
thirds
yeah,
and you're
for
like,
sure.
what the hell just happened? They
Yeah.
didn't follow story. You know what I'm saying? Like the prescribed method.
Yeah, it's
of
like a
creating
recipe,
story.
you know?
Exactly, right? And you can deviate
There's a
here and there,
formula
but
that
Yeah.
works.
eventually you have to do these things. And if you don't, then the movie or the series or whatever fails. You know what I
Falls
mean?
flat.
And you have somebody like Shonda Rhimes, right? Let's say like was it Scandal? Yeah, Scandal. That was a big one I watched, and I couldn't believe how great it was. They would do the hero's journey sometimes in one episode.
Wow.
In one episode, man. Not in a 3-hour film, in one episode.
Holy
or
moly.
multiple heroes in one episode. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
super cool to see. So that's a storyteller.
Yeah.
Like Shonda Rhimes, I don't care what anybody says about, you know, I don't like Grey's Anatomy or whatever the case.
yeah.
You can't say that she doesn't know what she's doing. She's got a way that she makes her
Well,
her
Grey's
shows.
Anatomy has been very successful.
100%.
No, and I agree. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Oh, well, I watched
I know
the
what
first
you
2
mean. I
seasons.
hear
and can't-"
people that-
or once McDreamy left or whatever. Look, I don't care what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Right.
If you sit down and watch it and you tell me different
Uh-huh.
about story, then I'll listen to your point. But otherwise, no, dude. Like
Right.
the lady gets it right. The writers for her get it right. They do it right. You know.
Yeah, and any objective, real idea, you're gonna say, you know what? Yeah, they did a fantastic job, and you know.
Yeah, it reminds me. I was hanging out at this place, and you know, before all the scandal and everything, Kevin Spacey happened to come in and hang out, and they closed the place down, and I stayed, and we hung out, drank,
Chopped it up. Yeah.
and we just got into conversation about movies and stuff, and we were talking about Gladiator, and I was saying how I thought Joaquin Phoenix should have been nominated.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe he was nominated, but he should have won or something.
Hell of an
And there was this
actor,
bartender that goes, "Oh, the accent was all wrong," and he could this and that. I'll never forget. We're all standing there, and Kevin looks over and said, "Who would you have cast then?" And the guy
Exactly.
goes, up, and then he
Right.
looked at me and he goes, "See, like you know, it's like if you can't back up something when you're,
Yeah.
you know, like you were just saying,
Right.
it's like there's certain things that you don't knock it unless you think
Or
you can
just
do a better job.
subjective
Yeah, it's
bullshit,
always easy to
subjective
judge someone
ideas
else.
and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Well, when people are, you know, really pan projects, you know,
Right.
now it's like, well, what have you done?
Right.
It's hard to, if somebody gets something done and
Sure.
finished and it's anywhere, I have a real hard time with saying horrible things about it because at least they did it. You know, people have no right to be like, oh, you didn't do this and didn't do. Yeah, you're in your basement.
Yeah,
you're in
it's
your
easy
mom's
to sit
basement,
home
you
and
know, on
judge.
your computer.
Well, it's like James said. You know, very few things really get finished in this town.
It's
you
so
know?
hard to get something made.
a
And
tough
I've learned more and
business.
more about that last few years.
Yeah, and it's
Just
dedication.
if something
and-
gets made, then you gotta know.
Ironclad, right? Will like to just go for it all the way, which is what you guys have done and inspired us for sure, and many of folks when they see this episode.
And you know what the thing is, with Vanessa and I had known this from the get-go. Like even when we were writing or whatever, you know, we talked about like you're gonna have haters,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have people that this show just isn't for, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's okay. Like we've been very, very pleasantly surprised with the reviews that we've gotten.
Yeah.
You know, we've gotten some pretty good reviews, and I was like, okay, because you figure you're going to get a mix. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Haters are going
Right.
to come out.
I like the hodgepodge of people you have in it. So that's why it works, because it's
I
just
like the
nuts.
idea that
Yeah.
there's so many different addictions.
Yeah.
You know, I heard there was someone that was addicted to laxatives. Imagine? That's a real thing. I'm not mentioning any names.
Oh, for sure.
Every day was a shitty day.
Well, the few people that we've allowed to pre-screen this, you know, before it even went out to the, you know, the umpteen press outlets or whatever, people we
Okay.
trust, people we know give us good, clean, constructive criticism, and we want that. You know what I mean? Like, we're open to, like, you want to hate, whatever. We're just going to smile at you and be like, I'm sorry it wasn't for you.
Right.
And if Tom
right.
Sizemore had his name on it, I'm sure, dude, we know Tom, you know, he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore's not going to sign just on to just anything. He's
Right,
got to have it real
right.
good.
So
You know-
those people that have watched it, they, you know, they've all said one cool thing besides it being a train wreck and, you know, fast paced and can't stop watching it, blah blah. They've all said, like, there's somebody in there for everybody.
Sure.
There's
Yeah.
a character in there that we all know, several for a lot of these.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you really, it's not your Uncle Bob, but it's your Uncle Bob. You know what I'm saying? It's not your sister Susie, but it's kind of your sister Susie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
they
right.
remind you of that. Like, she and I constantly laugh. And we did this even during editing when we've watched it hundreds of times. Like, we should be over it, whatever. We'd still laugh out loud at some of the stuff
great.
that we had written for other actors. We're like, man, we wrote better stuff for them than we did for ourselves. It's
But
amazing.
the actors also took on some and made it even funnier.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when Todd sniffs the weight bench
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Haggard Ken has been on.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
it
There's
was.
some cool.
Oh my
It's
God.
just talent.
Okay.
You know, people bring their own kind of twist to it.
Yeah, I want to hear a little more. Just a few other, like, just what are they, like, Easter eggs?
Easter eggs?
Yeah.
What can we say to what's a good one we can't give up on? Well, you know what? There's some. If you really pay attention, like, we got a little bit of flack in one of the reviews about the pilot episode. You know, and my understanding with pilots, especially with the ADD and ADHD generation, that we really see. You know,
James
with the,
and I are talking.
you know, you're talking the instant gratification. You know, we really wanted to set the tone in the pilot to really show you what the world was,
Okay.
what the rules, so to speak, were. You know, and it's a bit of reality and fantasy. So we kind of put it all out there, but there's underlying things that you can pick up on if you pay attention to color and other things. Like, you'll catch later, like, oh, you know, I didn't catch that in episode 1, but now I got it. That's what they were doing with that kind of thing. So there's little Easter eggs in there that.
There's just so many storylines.
Yeah,
And we,
yeah.
you know, it was edited a different way. It's we've edited it, Derek's re-edited and edited to make it. And a lot of stuff was cut from the first, 40 pages that
And we watched
were
that
written.
at some point. You know, I'll provide the popcorn, right? We'll provide the popcorn. The uncut version.
Yeah, Derek made everything more fast-paced. I was more like Celebrity Rehab. You know how it was slower and
Right.
and coffee spill. You know how it was in Celebrity Rehab, but Derek was like, no, it's got to be fast. So
Well, here's an example, right? So there's 7 episodes.
Okay.
Originally, we were going to do 8.
Just episodic. I didn't know it was.
Yeah, it's episodic. So when it hits Tubi on the 6th, that'll be the pilot, episode 1. Then every Friday after that, another episode comes out for 7 weeks. Okay.
Cool.
Episodes 1 through 6 are between 24 and 30 something minutes.
All right.
Then episode 7, the season finale, is an hour.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't tell anybody that we let pre-screen it. Okay. So they watched all of them, and when they got to 7, my one question was always, was 7 too long? And they always looked at me like, no, why? I was like, it was an hour, dude. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. They're like, well, it didn't feel like it, which we were really happy about
It
because,
was engaging.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because you go from 30 minutes to an hour. That's a pretty big, you know.
That happened when we had Robert Miano on our podcast. Mm-hmm. We just let him go, and he was just telling these stories, and we just couldn't stop him. I mean, some people were saying, like, well, that was really great and everything, but aren't you guys the hosts? It's more like you were the audience.
Right.
I said, it's Robert Miano.
Right.
I mean, this guy grew up with Al Pacino.
Yeah,
Do you
and
not
the
get it?
stories were so just
compelling,
wonderful
bro.
and eloquent.
Well, it sounds like you guys were in the moment and enjoying it.
We couldn't stop. So I said, we're just going to make a double episode.
Fuck it.
We
That's
went
what
on, we
did.
cut it into 2 parts.
Good for you.
And it's great. And speaking of Robert, you're an actor. Actors, you've done some acting. It's like when you're just getting audition after audition after audition, and then all of a sudden everything stops.
Dries up for a little bit, yeah.
So you call your
Almost
agent.
dried for a minute. Dry spell.
And you say, do I need new headshots or anything? Just trying to get something back, some feedback on like why am I being shelved or what. So I didn't get I got a lot of auditions last year. I got called back in by a lot of great casting offices, and all of a sudden I got 2 national commercial auditions in January, and then I auditioned for a show called All Rise, which is a big show, and then
Cool, man.
another thing that Doug Ellen was attached to, and then nothing in February, nothing in March, and nothing in April.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone that long without getting any kind of an audition, so I was panicking. So I got 2 auditions yesterday and 1 today. I won't say what they're for, but the one I got yesterday, they said, don't worry about in caps. You do not have to be memorized.
What?
We know that this is a lot for being due like 2 days.
How many pages?
It's 3 pages of monologue.
Oh, okay.
It's intense. It's a lot. But I called Robert and I said, hey, man, I got this thing. I remember you offered if I ever needed help with an audition.
You did.
And he said, just get it as cold as you can. Of course you can have the script in hand, but you're going to, if you don't have to worry about those lines, just get those lines out of the way. I'm going to do my best. I'll be up all night studying it,
No, look, man, I did my first Lifetime movie just before Christmas, and it was an education, man. It was like the way, the speed at which they shoot those movies. Like they have a formula and they do it. And you can't get in their way, man.
Right.
For me, the education for me was, for some reason, I got lost in the loop with the emails. So last minute, like the night before, first day of shooting on set, and I have a lot of dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
And these main scenes, right? I remember the script that they gave me when they cast me, right? It wasn't what they sent me the night before.
The changes.
Yeah,
Right?
always.
So
Yeah, you get it at 11:30 at night, and you got to be on set at 7 in the
So
morning.
Vanessa's like, you'll be fine. You're the most dedicated idiot I know. You know what I mean? And I was like, and I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah,
then slept
that'll
an
be
hour,
me
and then
tonight.
went to set, and had a bunch of other things that got in the way, and it was very stressful that morning. But the point was, I was over prepared, but I didn't care because I was able to play.
Right.
I was able to be with the director, and the director really appreciated the fact that I was as prepared as I was, and it made for a lot better scene and a lot more fun.
A friend of mine who's the artistic director of a theater company, it's called Theater 68. I was there for 4 years, and I was I was a member when they started the New York Theater 68. So in a sense, we're all kind of like founding members of that theater company out there, sister company. And he knew the costume designer over at GH, General Hospital. And I guess she put in a word for him, and he got written in for 1 episode or 2 episodes or something. Well, they liked him so much, he ended up by doing 150 episodes.
Holy cow.
Because they just kept writing him in.
Right,
I remember he broke his arm. I told this on another episode. He broke his arm, and they wrote it into the show the night before.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to make it black or something. They just painted it black so it'd be better for camera. But that's how that. But I remember hearing him talking about how they call it the factory over there because they pound out so much script, and then you go in the next morning and get, what are they, the blue sheets or the pink sheets or whatever the changes are. But he said you get it late at night, it'd be like 10 pages, and they don't play around over there.
No.
Like you get killed off and written off real quick if you start struggling with
Speaking
it.
of Star Trek,
Yeah, Johnny Wachter, we're at Stuart Rogers with him, and he is on General Hospital now.
yeah, he plays
Oh.
Brando Corbin. I'm not a soapy, but
Oh,
I'm
you know
learning.
what?
I'm
I know
learning.
that name.
But he's done
because-
hundreds of
Yeah.
Let me tell you
episodes
something.
We
already.
party
now.
with those General Hospital people.
Yeah?
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie knows a lot of GH people, so I'm going to see if he can get some people to
It's
come
got to
on.
be 2 years he's been on there now, I think, right?
When he was shooting with us, he was kind of scruffy, and we didn't know why.
Yeah.
That's when they were testing out his character. So
Yeah.
it had to be a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Funniest thing is, while I was in the theater company, Ronnie said, hey, we got this big scene, James Franco, and if you guys want to come and hang out, it's a night shoot. It's over at, what's that museum, LePac? Or not, is it, not LePac, that's where I go to
No.
school.
You mean
Lacma?
Lacma. Yeah, I'm dyslexic, I think. So I said, yeah, I'll do it, And so I'm telling all these people, yeah, man, I think I'm like featured, I don't have anything, but I'm there, and it's kind of cool. It was a really good time. James Franco falls off of a roof and dies, and so it's like this huge thing. It was a really good episode, and all these guys were telling me like, I don't watch soap operas, and because I'm telling people, hey, I'm going to be on this, right? And you should see how many guys called up, like after it aired, and I saw that, just flipping through the channels, or my girlfriend was watching it. Yeah, you guys are lying.
Sure.
You're all watching General Hospital.
Speaking
Love
of
General
auditions, with it's still men have a huge amount of auditions compared to women.
Really?
It's for every
Yeah.
10 auditions, it's 8 parts for men, 2 parts for women. And it's still that way.
Wow.
That's why
We're going
wrote
to change
for
that,
this.
right? Yeah.
Well, I'm trying. That's why I had to write for myself, because I couldn't sit around waiting for the phone to ring.
I promise you. Yeah, go ahead.
But he didn't really believe me until we have the same agent. And sure enough, he'll have just so many auditions, and then I'll get like 1. And it's
change
it's
that.
just the way it
That's
is.
true. Yeah,
and
that's just the way
there's
it is,
so many
yeah.
more women in Hollywood than men.
Yeah.
So the odds are even worse for women.
Yeah, more
And there's a
competition.
disparity, huh? It's
Yeah,
not-
And the pay.
too. Yeah. Not to
Yeah.
mention the pay.
Is-
yeah.
Used to be. I mean, yeah. There was.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. Like Renee Russo, I forget. Like let's say for Tin Cup or the Lethal Weapon movies. I mean, she would only get paid like $100,000, and they were getting paid like millions.
Holy cow.
But she was in everything, and
Yeah.
she wanted to work. But now I think the pay's way better than
Scales
before.
a
But
little better, yeah.
but there just isn't in many parts. They're
know-
cop roles, army movies. It's all men and one woman.
Wow.
in everything.
Yeah.
So
We gotta be
Taraji was talking about how when she was on Lonnie's show, The Real, and she was talking about how she was on Benjamin Buttons, and she said, "Yeah, I got like $150,000 for that, right?" Now she was a main character.
Yeah.
She said, "But think about this. I was on that for 5 months,
wow.
and Uncle Sam, and my agent, and my
Yeah.
publicist, and everybody else gets what." 40 or 60%,
Yeah.
I mean, it comes out to, you don't get much left. And she goes, I used that to put my son through a private
Wow.
school at the time, and that was it. She says, so people think that these stars make so much money.
It's just the
But
fame a lot of times. Just the
5
fame,
months for whatever it ended up by being wasn't that much.
Right.
Dude. I know a lot of stories that I can obviously, for obvious reasons, I cannot divulge here because, as a driver, I used to run lines with people
Right.
and know their personal lives a lot of times. That is pretty much a fact. And it was back then. I think
real
things are
thing.
getting better, so. Huh?
It's a real thing. Secrets, Hollywood
Yeah,
secrets.
yeah, we got some good Hollywood secrets, but we'll save that for next time when you bring Tom Sizemore.
Right.
Uh,
We get Tom.
We're almost out of time, apparently. I'm getting the
Well,
buzzard up there.
I'm
what
gonna
kind of coffee are
enjoy
you
that.
drinking, though?
What kind of coffee am I drinking?
Yeah.
This is Barnhouse Napa Brews, baby.
Hello.
And we got some new coffee coming
Oh, yeah.
because I'm
Pretty
running
stoked.
out. But yeah, this is my Reese's cup, and I always have Barnhouse Napa Brews. You want to order some, just go online.
Any final thoughts, guys? Let's hear it.
Well, I'm really enjoying this liquid death
Yeah, this
water,
liquid
too.
death water was pretty cool.
Guys,
We're at Melrose Podcast Studios.
let's tell them the truth, dude. I mean, this is. I was gonna say it's the Jim Jones Kool-Aid.
No, it was all right.
I don't know.
It didn't
I'm
bother
glad I
me.
didn't drink it yet.
Every time I think we can get through an episode without being canceled.
No, we would love to come back after you guys have watched the series. After it's
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think June 17th
definitely.
is the finale, I think, roughly.
And then it'll go worldwide July 1st.
Yeah.
I'm so
all the other
stoked.
platforms.
Can we? I'm still stuck on. Can we watch the uncut version, bro?
Watch the first one. And
And we'll talk.
we can always talk off camera, off microphone.
As they say on the big shows, you guys are welcome back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always come back here.
Yeah, so on Tubi, Friday, there'll be
Friday.
an episode dropped every week.
There you go.
Tubi.
Rehab.
Tubi, and we're gonna insert some stuff
Yeah,
you're gonna see
so
in
don't
the
worry,
editing.
yeah.
This is they
We'll
have great
promote the
editing.
shit out of this. Plug the shit out of
And,
it. Absolutely.
We appreciate you coming
Thank
last
you for
minute
having
This is
us.
so
much.
gracious.
Thank you, guys.
Last minute, man. This is
And
nuts.
thank you,
Girls.
Karen and Christy.
Karen and
Thanks
I get
for
this-
having us.
Yeah, Karen and Christy.
I got the names right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else to say, guys? Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
You
having
guys
us.
comfortable over
Yeah, it
there?
was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Taking
the
care of you
sofa-
guys.
we
There's
got
spiders
lots
in
of
that
pillows
on the
and-
couch, by the way. The one we picked off the street. No, I'm kidding. You guys been a lot of fun. Honestly.
Well, make sure everyone subscribes, please.
Oh yeah, can you guys
We
subscribe to
really
our channel, by the
appreciate
way?
that.
Absolutely.
We're doing good. Like it's been a month and a week or so. We're at like 255,
Oh, that's great.
254.
Cool. Well,
Cool.
Yeah, and these are legit. You know,
every
subs.
subscription,
This
Not a
is-
bot.
every subscriber helps. David, you subscribed, right?
No, you haven't. David.
busted.
David, shame on you.
Our engineer, but he's the man
Yeah,
behind
he's
the
the
scenes that
man,
makes the
yeah.
magic happen. So
I haven't had time to.
I know you've been so busy
Don't
with
worry
my.
about
We
it.
did 3 episodes on Sunday.
Don't worry, we got your phone, so we're just gonna click on.
But you guys make sure you
sure.
find us on
Yeah.
Instagram, the
Yeah,
Barbee
drop your-
Rehab.
Yeah, and we're gonna insert all that in the editing
Facebook,
with
and
you.
once we have you guys, we'll follow back. And
You
all
have
that good
MySpace?
Appreciate all that.
No.
If
If I do,
think
I don't
we
remember
all
the
have
password.
one
I think
and
that
we
guy
don't
Tom.
know.
They're
we
still
all have.
floating around
I
out
think that
there
guy Tom's
somewhere.
mad at me. Wasn't his name Tom?
Uh-huh.
Right, the MySpace guy. I think he's mad at me.
Yeah, that was his name.
I know my playlist is still rocking over there.
Yeah.
Somewhere, right? Somebody's listening.
I
to
think
it.
we're locked out of our Barbee Rehab Twitter thing. Like we can't get the
can't
password
get in?
reset or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
How does that happen?
I don't know. There's so many pages. We got.
So how do we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something. Real quick? We got a couple minutes.
Mhm.
Dave.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so when how do we kidnap Tom Sizemore and bring him in? Should we just trick him into something like?
Well, like I
shoot
said,
him?
man, when
Shanghai.
the show takes off, we'll say, hey, let's go talk with the guys about the show.
Cool.
I'll get him.
Well, I hit him up about a project.
Vanessa.
I'm good at getting him out.
There you go.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Bailing is coming on.
Bailing's
That
gonna
was
be
a
here soon.
secret guest, I guess. I can't keep a secret.
She plays Chinese Barbie.
That's right.
All right.
Barbee
She hangs
Rehab.
out with them too. It's great. It's such a weird situation, right? This is like we got
6
everybody.
degrees.
Yeah, it's nuts.
No, it's
It's
less than
nuts.
6. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You
all
You
the
guys are
support.
amazing. Thanks, and
Man.
thank you, the viewer. Subscribe, please. Jim and James Morning Podcast.
We'll
Thank
see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So then,
Adios.
Bye. Adios.
Thanks, guys.